Good morning, Jamie here. It's about 3 a.m. right now, and I want to talk about my sleeping patterns, or rather my working patterns, depending on how you want to address it, okay? So I usually get the question of, why am I up so late? What times do I usually sleep, and why do I choose that, okay? So if I'm working on a client launch, if I'm doing a large project, anything that requires me to produce a high level of product or a high level of execution, I tend to shift my sleeping and working patterns to actually begin my working days at 11 p.m. Yes, begin my working days at 11 p.m. at night. And then from there I tend to work into the AM, and then from the AM into the afternoon, and then early to late afternoon, I'm usually done. I am exhausted, everything else is all done, and I usually crash out and wake up again at 11 p.m. So that sounds very weird, I know, and it's probably not really healthy, but there's a few benefits that I have come across from working at 11 p.m. or from beginning at 11 p.m. and working through the whole night into the very next day. So I want to share these with you. Maybe you can take these concepts, maybe you can try them into your own life, plug a few of them in and see what kind of outcome you guys can generate from it. So reason number one why I begin my working days at 11 p.m. tends to be because usually at around 12 at night, your brain switches side, right? So we have the left side of our brain and the right side of our brain. The left side is usually active during the normal working hours, right? That allows us to process very logical tasks and problems. However, if you've ever been up after 12, you would be aware that it's usually hard to fall asleep because you have all these great ideas, you can't sleep, you have all these great thoughts, and your mind's just racing. That is usually because at around 12, your brain switches sides, if you will, right? So after 12, you switch side to your right side of your brain, which allows for more creative thoughts and more creative thinking, okay? So in me beginning my working days at 11 p.m., that allows me to capitalize on my brain switching gears, right? So I'm able to do more creative work, able to do more creative problem solving, and really just be able to bring a lot more creativity to my clients' launches, to my own product launches, to anything that I do, and the overall outcome is a lot more premium than if I had tried to problem solve that in the normal hours, okay? So reason number one happens to be because I can use the right side of my brain. Reason number two, which actually came to me by accident, by just being aware of what was happening around me, is that it's dark at night, like really dark, of course, right? But it's very, very dark, so dark that if you're working in a office, you can't tell what time it is unless you look at your clock, right? So here's why that is very important to me personally. If I'm working in my office, working away, I can see the light changing in the room as the sun rises, gets to 12, then comes down. The light in the office changes, right? So subconsciously, I'm aware that time is ticking away and I'm racing against the clock. However, if you're working at night time when it's pitch black, there is no light outside. There is no light coming into the office. The light isn't changing inside the room. It's just constant. It's a constant light from the light bulb, which means you don't feel pressured to hurry up, right? You feel like there's this sense of unlimited time, or this element of unlimited time, because the light in the office isn't changing because the sun isn't up. That allows you to really take your time with your work, ensure that you're doing it properly, and you're just not rushed, okay? So reason number two is that there is no light changing outside, therefore I can't tell what time it is, therefore I feel like I have unlimited amounts of time to work on whatever I happen to be doing at 11 p.m. at night. Okay, so reason one, your right side of your brain switches on. Reason two is that there's an unlimited amount of time at my disposal. Reason number three is that it's pretty quiet, right? There's no emails coming in, there's no tweets coming in, there's no Instagram notifications, and it's just really, really quiet. So you're able to just lock down and get it all done with no distractions coming in, no clients calling you, no customers calling you, whatever it is, whatever distractions you have, you're able to really lock down on the most hardest tasks first, with your right side of your brain being active, with feeling like there's an unlimited amount of time as well, and you're not being pulled away constantly by your emails or by your friend requests or notifications from this and that, whatever it is. There's no distractions at 11 p.m. until about 6 a.m. and then everyone else starts to awake from there. Which brings me to my fourth point. Fourth point is that if you begin your working days at 11 p.m. and you work on your most important stuff, like the projects that will move the needles for either you or your clients, the things that you really want to work on, whether it be creating a new product, whether it be writing a book like I am, whatever it is, if you put your most important projects at that 11 p.m. working time, and you work on that project from 11 p.m. till 6 a.m. and you get it all done, right? So it's all done, you feel good, great. Comes the 6 a.m. rush or the 8 a.m. rush, whenever the emails begin to flow in, whenever the customers begin to call, whenever the clients begin to ask for things from you, you have already completed your most important work from 11 p.m. till whenever the cluster begins to flow in. Okay, so here's why that is important. If you're trying to complete a really intense task, or you're trying to work on a project for your home business, and you've got, customers asking you questions, you've got employees asking you questions, you've got notifications asking you questions, you can't put the amount of energy or time that you want into your project, and you really half-ass everything else because you're like, well, I want to be doing this, but I have to be doing this. So your energy is split up across the problems and across what you want to be working on. Just to recap all that as to why I like to work late into the early mornings. Reason one, you're able to use the right side of your brain. You're able to do more creative work. You're able to execute at a higher level. Reason two, it's quiet, really quiet, no distractions. Reason three, it's really dark, okay? So that allows you to feel like there's an abundance of time because the light's not changing in your room, which means you don't feel pressure to rush your important work. Reason four is that you can actually work on your important work so that you get it all complete for that day. You feel good, you feel great, you actually made progress in your client's life or in your own life by putting that project first when everyone else is asleep. So then when everyone else awakes, you're not half handling your project and you're not half handling your customers or your clients or their projects as well. So those are my 4 reasons as to why I like to begin my days at 11 p.m. Not always, only if I'm doing a launch or if I'm working on some big project, I'll usually switch my sleeping patterns to 11 p.m. onwards, okay? So take it as it is. Obviously there's a lot of health concerns for people who are shift workers, so I don't recommend always doing it, but again, put it to the test and let me know your thoughts and feedback in the comment box below. Thank you for watching.